Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. We'll get the screen share going on. Yesterday's session, relatively quiet overall. The NASDAQ really not going too far, but rather remaining range bound for the most part. Unlike this morning, where it looks as though we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off here right out of the open. Look at all that selling going through here on your Geiger counter. That is huge. So for those of you who like your first in sync eagle signal, you would have been rewarded right here, right out of the open. A few seconds after the opening bell, you get a sell signal, and that falls off very quickly. Here on the Raptor as well. Like I said, you Raptor traders don't need to feel left out. You can do your first in sync signal as well. Right there, nice little number 3 signal. And now it looks as though, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a recovery. Again, I'm not a big fan of early trades. I know sometimes I get left out. Here, for instance, on the Falcon now, we've got a couple late filter entry signals developing, and we even have a second push opportunity on those. So you could set them up something like that if you were just looking to take an early signal. And it looks like the market actually slipping me a couple of ticks on that. We'll see if I can't get those back. Definitely the momentum to the downside. The late filter entry signal occurs when your filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. Your trend line, however, never changes color. This one relatively flat as well, which is nice to see. Oh, look at this. You're going to see why I don't like taking early signals. I like to let the market settle in a little bit first, because if the market is trending, sure, there's times the market's going to take off like a shot and I won't have a second chance to get in. But usually, if the market is trying to trend, it will give you a pullback. It will give you a second chance to get in. Here now on the Raptor, we're into the hard edge coming out. If we produce a sell signal, that will be a hard edge bounce, a number 3 signal. The late filter entry signals here on the Falcon tend to be very reliable. You don't see these signals fail very often. Hopefully my stop is far enough away to ride out this little swing that's developing. So far it's not looking all that promising, but if I shoot a trend line across these tops, we might see where there could be some additional selling going on. Maybe we'll see some sellers show up here. If we can get a little bit of a swing lower, I can do something with my stops. Ideally, initial stops, if you can afford it, should go 2 swings back. And if you're at a loss, You can always follow the crest in your trend line. This is true for the Raptor as well. The Raptor, we have the hard edge of the trading band that you can follow. So where that trading band crests, that's sometimes a pretty good spot to hide your trailing stop if you can't figure out an appropriate stop placement. At least initial stop. Oh yeah, now we're getting a late filter entry to buy. The Hawk already bullish, the Eagle, the Raptor, both in the hard edge, so I'm looking for some sort of reaction from the market now that we have moved into the hard edge. No, they're not going to give it to me. Going to tag me out here in a second. Yeah, figured as much. Okay, well, we're back inside yesterday's trading range. And as usual with those early trades, I dig myself a bit of a hole. Got it. Which is why I tend to avoid those early trades, but we'll see here. Got a little bit of work to do. All right, we're kind of back and forth. Hit the secondary support zone. You can see we're kind of pinched here between the two. According to the support and resistance suite, we should actually be a little bit more bearish here this morning. Although right now it looks like the market is trying to recover somewhat. Well, if the market does not want to go down, it's most likely going to try to go higher. And we'll see what happens here as we're, like I said, flirting with this 74, 32, 33 zone. Our trading band definitely changing over here to a more bullish type setup. This is now one of these discretionary signals, and I'm almost getting to the point where I think the market may run, and so no, doggone it, couldn't get my entry. The market may run, so I'm going to try to get my entry early. I'm just watching it here. It's not really pulling back. And I may just have to get on board off of one of these discretionary signals. Alternatively, I could have just hit my buy market button as well. That will do it too. Go figure. Now they're now they're thinking about doing that pullback that I was talking about. Oh man. All right, here we go. There was that little pullback. This not quite getting low enough to produce a number 3 signal, but it is still a number 3 signal all the same. Yesterday's highs were around 74.60. You can see we have primary support sitting here at 74.66 3/4. The trade now at break even. Hopefully we can get over this little hurdle here around 74.50. After which I think I will just move into my ATR Okay, so I've got my ATR stops going, and you know what? I may try to stretch this just a little further as well. It's really, really aggressive on my part. I'll probably tighten up my stops even more when and if we get up here to 74.67. There we go. We're inching up a little. Oh, getting that little bit of a swing now. As we, like I said, we're this whole 74.60 area was near the top end of yesterday's trading range. If we manage to pop above that, there is a good chance that we could try to recover to yesterday's highs, which were up here at 74.80, which is where I was looking. Okay, well, that's better. It's unfortunate that first trade, but we got a little bit back. See, if I would just stick to my rules, no early trades. Problem is, the market looks so inviting when it's moving so fast. you just feel like you're going to miss out. You got to get in. All right, a little bit of a market settling in a little bit here, and which is to be expected because we're kind of at the top end of the trading range. I think the market is bullish now, so you can look for opportunities to try to buy in. Covering the trade is going to be the challenge. Just kind of watching here to see if perhaps we get a late filter entry to buy on the Falcon. Like I said, this one back here, there was nothing wrong with the signal. It was just one of those trades that did not work out the way it was supposed to. As strong as the signal is, unfortunately, it is not 100%. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Not quite a number 3 signal. Again, we're a little bit short, but we do have one of these discretionary signals, which we could plot for. Can I cover that? No, I can't. What if I did it like this? Just back to the hard edge, not quite as deep as I would like, but here too, I'm going to try to take it up closer toward yesterday's highs on the off chance that the market is going to be trending or continue trending. Well, they're thinking about it. No, not quite. Not quite ready for that rally. The problem. And coming back with a number two signal now. So it's not printing as a number two, but it is a number two. So we have essentially a 2-3-2 setup, or a market that may be prone to reversing, or at the very least, very neutral. Okay, another number 3. Followed by another number 2. So again, we're starting to get this back and forth. All right, might get a little giddy up here now. We're going to challenge the high after that little pullback. Not much of a pause or a pullback for the market, which is good and usually something you anticipate in a strong trending market. You're looking for the market to continue trending. All right, we'll see if they get up to my auto break even now. Come on, one more push. Well, this is really starting to look like this was the move of the day. If we get one more push up here, I'll actually bring my break even in a little bit. Mark makes the comment, wow, strong buying after strong selling, quite the bounce. And I think if you go back to the daily, I think what kind of stands out to me is the fact that we're trading near this trend line. Traders may not all be drawing the trend line exactly the same way I have it drawn here, but the fact is, no matter how they're drawing it, there's something going on, right? Even if you just kind of draw the trend line over the last few days, I think more of the short-term traders are probably looking at it like this. Uh, and then, of course, there's going to be the bear trend line like that. So if we get above yesterday's highs, there could be a little bit of a rally up, maybe even as high as 7,600. That would be most impressive. But after that, we're going to start getting back into bear country. That's where the sellers started to clobber the buyers. All right. Well, not a bad move. Not quite to the next support line, which is going to be the median line, but a decent move all the same. And it looks as though now we may be inclined to get more of a pullback. Here now they're coming back with yet another charge. The buyers are. Not much of a pullback. I don't know. I would personally, I'd like to see maybe a little bit of a deeper pullback. There's no denying the trend is strong. Well, we'll see if we get one of these follow-up signals, one of these discretionary signals. We already here on the hawk, we have another first micro macro cross signal. All right, we've got a little bit of a consolidation going on. All right, a little bit of a pullback. Don't think we're going to see a full reverse here. The market is just too strong. Steve, you're too hard on yourself. Steve says, I missed the down move and I missed the up move. You would think after 15 years of trading I would get it, but no. You know, the only difference is between you and me, Steve, is when you miss a move, nobody knows about it. Unless you tell me and I can tell the world. When I miss a move, of course, everybody can see me miss it. And you've all seen me get blocked by the market. Well, it's I block myself, but sometimes you just kind of get in that mindset where you can't see the forest for the trees, quite literally. You can't see what's going on. You come to the market with a preconception. You think, hold on a second here. You think, oh, the market it's in a downtrend. Look at these strong days. It's in a downtrend. I'm going to sell. And of course, you get this kind of thing going on where the market just puts in a big rally. So you can't be too hard on yourself. We're doing a very difficult thing here, folks. Don't let anybody kid you. Don't let anybody ever try to tell you trading is easy. Trading is not easy. We're trying to predict what the market will do next. We're trying to get on the right side of the trade here. And like I said, not an easy thing to do. So cut yourself a little bit of slack there, Steve. The day's not over yet. I think what we're going to see, though, is a little bit of a retest. Maybe that was just a very short-term trading range, and it looks like we've bounced and hit it. I don't know if that's going to be enough to actually spark the market again. What's the Geiger counter doing? Oh, well, the Geiger counter is actually very bullish here at the moment. And it looks like I'm going to get a second push opportunity on that number 3 signal. The second push, again, simply means I allow the signal to engage. I see where the market reacts. Now, that does have the potential of letting the market run out without you. Right? Sometimes you can end up waiting too long. But the idea behind the second push is quite simple. We see where the market reacts, and then we try to get in on some renewed momentum. Now, at this stage of the day, I would probably take profit on target. But the market's been running pretty well, so we'll see. We'll see if it doesn't try to get up to 7,500. The other thing you have to bear in mind is that with trading, we're always making decisions on less than ideal information, right? We're never going to have all the pieces to the puzzle. Hi, Jeff. Jeff asks, when you have a minute on the Raptor 2, could you please tell me your settings for the cloud brick size and the hawk bar brick size you're using? Thank you very much. They're just the defaults, Jeff. I go with the defaults almost entirely. The only big market that I changed my settings on is the the E-mini, and I'll show you that in a moment. But here on the NASDAQ, or pretty much any other market for that matter, it's just the default setting. So I've got the 8 and 12 tick clouds, and then the 6 tick hawk. I am running an 8 tick brick, which again is the default. But the E-mini, because the E-mini trades at 12.50 a tick, things are a little bit different for the E-mini. If I put the standard settings here on the E-mini S&P, what would happen is you would open up your chart and it would look like this. You would have daybreak lines like this, and not really enough opportunities. So if you open up a chart, and this is going to tend to happen with those instruments that trade at more than $10 a tick, you may decide to go with the fast Raptor settings. Now, grab a pencil and paper so you can make some notes, but you can ask me this as often as you need to, so don't worry if you don't get it all down. We're going to first go with a 4 tick brick. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our data series, and we're going to change our brick size here to 4 ticks. And now on the Raptor itself, we need to make a couple of changes. So we're going to go now to the indicators, and we're going to find our Raptor. And we're going to go with a 4-4-6 setting. So we're going to change our hawk brick size to 4 ticks, our fast cloud to 4 ticks, and our slow cloud to 6 ticks. 4-4-6. The easy way for you to remember that is the telephone prefix for Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. There you go. Now you'll never forget it. Jeff saying, where? Okay. You'll find that the faster settings, like I said, what it will do is it will expand your chart and it will give you some opportunities. Like this is the E-mini here today. You can see it's not quite as active as the NASDAQ has been, but at least we're producing some signals. And you can use the fast settings on some markets, like occasionally I put it on crude oil if crude's moving really sluggishly and I'm just not getting any signals. I have used it on the euro, that's the 6E. I've also used it on gold. So feel free to experiment. That's a nice thing about the Raptor, of course, is the programming is opened up a little bit more that you can actually employ some of these things. You can make some of these changes. But when in doubt, always start with the defaults. And if you open up your chart and like I say, you have daybreak lines all over the place like this, then you know your brick size and your settings are too big. You have to reduce it. And the inverse of that is if you open up your chart and your timestamps down here are all of a sudden displaying minutes, hours, minutes, and seconds. So let's say it goes 7:08, 13, 7:08, 15, 7:08, 16, 7:08, 20, 7:08, 22. That tells you your bars are unfolding too quickly. You'll never be able to make a trading decision with only 2 or 3 seconds between bars. So that means your brick size is too small and you'll have to actually increase it. But that is very, very rare. If you're following the stock market, there may be some stocks that you may need to make those adjustments on. But like I say, by and large, the defaults will serve you very well. Hey, way to go, Don. Don having a stellar morning here. So Don says, so my 3 contract strategy at 641, the number 3 signal worked out great. Took profit on target with 2 contracts, trailed the runner at the swing lows all the way up until getting stopped out at 722. Total of $1,020. Nicely done, Don. Don says, why can't this happen every day? Yes, that is true. The markets do not trend every day, and that is important to remember as well. It used to be if the market had a strong rally day, it would rally for a couple of days. So if it had a strong rally day one day, you could count on another rally day the next day. This is no longer the case, folks. Usually if you have one strong rally day, the next couple of days are probably going to be a chop fest sideways. So make note of that. And it looks like I'm going to get tagged out here in a second as the market is in a little bit of a retracement mode. All right, folks. we're going to have to close down the trading room here a little bit early. Unfortunately, I have an appointment I need to get to in the city, but I will hang out here for a couple of moments still. If anybody has any questions, just type in wait, and I'll wait for you hunt and peck typists. Otherwise, like I said, I'm going to have to button up the room here so I can go fight traffic for a little while. That's always fun. No questions. All right, I do apologize for having to duck out early today. If you are going to continue trading today, we've seen the big rally up. And so now we can anticipate the market is going to probably try to establish a bit of a sideways trading range for the rest of the day. I don't think we're going to see a major reverse. Move back to 74.50, certainly not out of the question. You can see that's kind of where the buyers picked it up before. So I would be on the alert for a pullback and then some sort of buying opportunity. So if you're using your Raptor here now, what you're actually going to be on the lookout for is a number 2 signal, or maybe even just a discretionary buy. And that will, in anticipation that the market is going to continue in this sideways fashion, which they very often do after a big trend. The market will just kind of settle in and drift sideways for the rest of the day. All right, everyone, I will see you tomorrow. David asked, can you show the fast settings on the Raptor again? Yeah, no problem, David. So here what we're going to do is we're going to go to our indicator window, and we're going to select our Raptor 2.0. And we're going to have a 4-tick hawk. And then our clouds are going to be 4 and 6 ticks, respectively. All right, so 4, 4, and 6, and then of course a 4-tick brick. But like I said, feel free to experiment. You may find settings that are more responsive to the market that you're following. But that's a good fallback, a good starting point. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow. Talk to you then.